In this lesson, we're going to be using partial products and multiplying 2-digit by 2-digit numbers, and then representing our multiplication problem on area models. Let's first review place value so we have a better understanding when multiplying 2-digit numbers. If we have the number 24, we're not saying 2 plus 4, we're actually saying 2 tens, which would be 20, and 4 ones, which is 4. So it is actually 20 plus 4 to make you get 24, not 2 plus 4. So if we are given this problem, 25 times 32, it is actually saying 20 plus 5 times 30 plus 2, just to break it down a little bit more. To multiply this using partial products, we're going to start by multiplying 2 times 5, which equals 10. And then we need to multiply 2 times 2, but that's not really 2. Remember, we said it's 20 plus 5, so that's actually 20. So 2 times 20 is 40. Then we would go on to multiply 3 times 5, but this really is 30 plus 5, so we're multiplying 30 times 5, which is 150. And then 30 times 20 looks like 3 plus 2, but really we are doing the 30 times the 20 right there, and that is 600. These right here are all our partial products that we will add together. This right here is the breakdown of what we just did. We did 25 times 32, and each partial product that we got. When we add these together, we're going to get 800. 800 is also the answer to 25 times 32. We know that because we took each part and we multiplied them and then added them to find the answer to our partial product solving method for 25 times 32. When drawing our area model for representation, it helps to remember what we broke down our multiplication facts into. So we started with 25 and we broke that into 20 plus 5. So if we break our area model into 20 plus 5, and we also had 30 plus 2. Now when solving this and filling in our area model, the first thing that we multiplied was the 2 times 5 right here. Well, we know right here that there's 2 times 5, and we can color that in. That right there is the area for our 2 times 5. The next thing that we multiplied would have been the 2 times 20. We have 2 rows of 20, so we would go down to where the 20 rows are right here, color that in, and right here where we're coloring is 2 rows of 20. When we solved using partial products, we know that then we multiplied 30 times 5, which would also mean 30 groups. Oops, not right there. We need 30 groups. We don't need of 20. We need 30 groups of 5, because we know that multiplication is 30 times 5 means 30 groups of 5, and how many are in there? So right here is our 30 times 5, or 30 groups of 5. Then our last one was the 30 groups times 20, so 30 groups of 20, and that is this big spot right here, and that would give us that answer. When adding them all together, the sum in each group, we would get 800. So now if I were to give you this scenario, this area model, would you be able to tell me what the original multiplication problem was? We know that in the last one we had 25 and we broke it down to 20 plus 5. So that gives you reason to believe that you might start with the 10 and 2. We have 10 groups here and we have 2 groups here. That would give us 12. And then on the side we have 10 groups right here and we have 3 groups right here. That can give us 13. The multiplication problem is most likely 12 times 13. So now if we have the multiplication problem 12 times 13, we're going to solve that using partial products algorithm. In partial products algorithm, we know that we need to think about the numbers being broken down, so we can think of 12 as 10 plus 2 times 10 plus 3 for 13. When we think about it that way, it's a little bit easier to multiply. We know that we start with our 3 times 2, which would be 6. Then we're going to multiply our 3 times this 1 right here, but this 3 actually means 3 times 10, so we would get 30. Then we're moving to the tens place and the bottom number. We're multiplying 10 times 2, which would be 20, and then we have 10 times 10 for our last one, which would be 100. Okay, so what two numbers did we multiply to get 6? That's right, the 3 and the 2. We had two groups of 3, and we got 6. Right here is where that is shown. To get 20, we multiplied 2 times 10, which means two groups of 10 would give us 20, and that's represented right here. Then we had 30. We got 30 by 1, or 10 times 3. Right here, 3 groups of 10 to get 30. And then we had 10 times 10, which got us 100, which is our biggest part of our partial products area model. From these numbers right here that we found, solving our multiplication by partial products and representing them in the area model using those numbers from the partial products, we can relate these two problems and solve.